else will break your heart. I'm never gonna hold you back. I'm always gonna have your back. So try to remember.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy October 7th. Okay, here we go. Willa Cather says, that is happiness, to be dissolved into something complete and great. Sometimes we may take our 12-step program for granted. It's always been there, helping us find a new way of life instead of an old way of death. It's been such a constant that we may forget to be grateful for men and women who came before us, who created this wonderful program of recovery and new life. Many people have made our program what it is. Some found a sober life and some were lost along the way, but all contributed to our recovery today. As recovery becomes a way of life, it's our turn to reach out to those in need. We can be available to newcomers, answering questions, offering friendship, and becoming sponsors. We can become more active in our program, helping to clean up after meetings, offering rides to those who don't have them, volunteering to visit patients in a hospital or a treatment center. The torch has passed. As those early pioneers left a legacy for us, now it's our turn to become part of the joyous tradition of love and support for those who follow in our footsteps. Today, help me remember those who will come after me in recovery. Help me be generous as those came before me were generous. So this is a very 12-step-ish reading, and it has a lot of validity. I've shared with you in the past that my first couple meetings in upstate New York, there was people in the rooms that had more than 20 years clean time, and they were showing up at every meeting that I went to. And that's how it continues. I think I struggle with this past year as I've kind of focused my energy towards my life. Like, we get to recovery so we can have a good life. And I feel like I've sometimes maybe not done as good of a job giving back as maybe I could have, because I'm now living my life. I don't go to as many meetings as I used to. I try to jump in and trying to maintain connection and try to give back. And for me, the podcast is one of those ways that I give back, although it's not in the traditional sense. And that's a big part of why I still advocate for Gamblers Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous. Like, there's still value to those programs. It's not the same for everyone, which is part of why I don't preach just 12-step. Like, there's going to be different reasons that people have, or different connections, or different, I don't know, everybody has their own journey to go on. So if you're not connecting with how GA sets up their format or their language used, and some of that is what I realized too, is it's a language. The meaning is all the same, honestly. At the end of the day, I think all the programs that I've been exposed to have shown the same end game: living a good life, owning our shit, doing the next right thing, paying it forward, setting up boundaries, being good human beings. Like, there's a baseline across whatever program you're in. And really, at the end of the day, the goal is just to not gamble or not use or not whatever the thing is. So as far as this reading goes, I would definitely advocate for you giving back, especially if, let's say you've been in the rooms, I don't know, a long time, and you stopped going to meetings. Why did you stop going to meetings? Is it about your recovery? Is it about, like, you don't think you need them? Is it, what does that look like? And then how much of a priority is it for you to stay connected, to keep the relationships, and then to give back to the new people? I don't know what the missing ingredient is, as I hear that a lot of the new people don't return after a meeting or two. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if the material just doesn't connect. I'm not real sure. But I think that there is a place for GA. And I think that a lot of people have been successful in GA. And this reading is really meaningful, especially for those who, created it, and those guys that have multiple years and time, and they still show up every week. And yeah, it's therapeutic to them, but it's also, I know I learned something new every single time I go to a GA meeting. And if it wasn't a mix of people, from the newcomer to the the veteran in recovery, I don't know that I would get as much value out of it. So that's kind of my thought on giving back, contributing, and showing up. Like I said, I find that for me, I'm giving back in a little different way. I mean, when I think about the fact that my reach is over 50 countries and 6 continents and all these cities, and then the fact that you're here listening, which, by the way, I super appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak to you. For me, that's, I don't want to say a better use of my time, but it's something that's important. And as I manage my time and get some life balance back, I absolutely will continue to contribute to GA and participate in GA as my life goes on, because there's just fundamental principles there that got me to this place where I'm at. So the motivation in this reading is about giving back. I think there's ways to do it, and I think it deserves getting called out to do it in GA. If that's where you grew up. And by grew up, I meant, grow in your recovery journey. So that was a pretty mild reading for me today. I'm not like getting on a big super rant. I guess I'm kind of chill today. Just to give you an update, we went for another bike ride this morning and went out to breakfast, and I'm still in beautiful Denver and the weather's amazing. And I'm looking forward to meeting some people. I've been doing a little bit of work today as well. And, I feel pretty good. I feel like I need to remind myself that to stay true to this trip. I'm finding myself I'm getting a little anxious, like, oh, I should be working harder or doing whatever. And I just have to remind myself, like, it'll all be there when I get home in a few weeks. This is a theory or application or principle that you can apply to your normal life. Like if you're having a weekend, say, where you have 2 birthday parties to go to and you have to rake the leaves and, you have a huge to-do list. Maybe it's you don't rake the leaves this weekend because you have the 2 parties and you need a little chill time. Whatever that looks like we have to just be kinder to ourselves when it comes to our schedules. And I'm really trying to remind myself of that. And I'll be honest, I'm struggling with that a little bit. I'm struggling with deciding. There's this gorgeous, amazing RV that I saw yesterday that I want. I just want it. And I don't know. I can't tell. Maybe I need to ask the universe for a sign. I don't know. I don't know if it's the right thing to do right now to just run down to the dealership and tell them, sign me up, I want it, or if it will create more chaos in my life. It's not like RVs are not going to go away. If I'm not ready for another 6 months, am I acting like an addict right now because I'm being a little impatient? Or am I acting like a believer in my dream and thinking that I have the best deal or opportunity by going to buy it right now? Kind of how I feel. And I'm talking through this, and I know that you guys let me talk through lots of things. So I appreciate that. I thought there were some things that I wanted to share with you from this past weekend, and I kind of lost track of my days and my thinking. It's been interesting the last 2 days. My mom has posted on Facebook. It was 2 different uncles that have both passed away, brothers of the uncle that I'm with here. And it was their birthdays. And, she posted, we love you, miss you, that kind of thing. Happy birthday. And when I was at my girlfriend's house this past weekend, we were talking about these uncles, even before I made the connection that it was their birthdays, before seeing my mom's post. And it's just interesting and how people remember other people and, thinking about the joy that they brought in our lives or the silly little things. And I guess as much as I like moving forward, I think it's important to reflect sometimes and acknowledge the lessons maybe that we've learned from other people or the positive memories or whatever that is. I thought it was cute. My Uncle Tom, he was a grumpy old man, and that was the way my girlfriend had identified him. Oh yeah, I remember him. He's the grumpy old man that had the book. He always had a book in hand. He was always very good to us kids. Hell, he let us live with him, which I can only imagine what it was like when I think I was 10 and my brother was 7. So I'm sure we were quite the handfuls. My mother's side of the family, all these brothers have always been very good to us kids. And I'm super grateful for them. I think right now my Uncle Bob probably thinks I'm a little bit of a crazy person because I'm like, I looked at him today after breakfast. I was like, oh my God, we got the perfect weather. We're getting to hang out. Like, life is just so good and so chill. Just practicing that, being present and all of that is helping me have a great trip. So those are my random thoughts for today. I hope that you guys are having a good start to the week. I hope the weather is beautiful where you are. Something about the sun just makes me happy and keeps me cheered up, I guess. So that's why I'm always wishing for sunny days for you. Although it would be helpful if we got some rain here in Colorado with the fires and rain in California. There's a lot of opportunities where rain would come in really handy. So I guess there's the other side of the coin, right? By the way, it's not that I'm not decisive. It's just that I can see both sides of the coin sometimes. So with that, guys, yeah, I hope you have a fabulous Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.